Okay, YouTube, I'm Rap from Rap's Garage Shop, and don't forget to do this. Helps my channel. You get all this information for free. Don't be cheap and just come get it and leave. Subscribe, hit the like button. Thanks. Anyhow, today, it's time to get this onto the 97 Bad Boy. First, I'm going to put the rubber O-ring on the intake. I'm going to put a little O-ring grease on this. You know it, the Dow Corning 55 O-ring grease. I'm going to put a little bit of that on there to keep it soft. I'm not going to put much on, just a thin little swipe of this stuff. And then I'll just plug it on here. Before I go any further, I think it's important to point out, now's a great time to lubricate your throttle cables. So I'm definitely going to do that right now, because it'd be silly to be this far and not to put some lube on these. And I'll show you how I do that. First, I'm going to put a towel here to catch whatever lube comes down them. The bolts that hold the cover on are T27 Torx bits. And since it's been a while since I've removed these, I'm just going to put a little lube on those. I do have Torx sockets, but these were first in the drawer, so this is what I'm using. Once I get the two Torx bolts out, you just open this up like so. And then I just take them out, being careful not to lose this brass piece. Once I have it at this point, I don't overcomplicate it. What I do is I just spray ever so slightly, a little bit of WD-40, and let it run down the cable that's here. And eventually it'll run all the way down the cable and out the other end. I just let gravity do its job. Now I'll hit the other one a little bit. And to help it, I'll just wiggle it in and out a bit. If they're not moving free, then it's probably time to replace them. You can see I can just move it up and down, no problem whatsoever. So right now you can see it's dripping out of both of these. You can see my thumb's wet. So that's all it takes, a little bit of WD-40 to lube them up, and they'll be good for another year. The other thing I like to do is clean my bars a little and make sure to clean the inside of the throttle tube a little bit. And the way I do that is just with a little WD-40 and then take and give it a wipe out. And you can see there's plenty that comes out on it. So now that's nice and clean, I'll install everything back together. Now I get the two cable ends that are brass. I'll put them back on like that. And they just slide over the ball. And then the ball sits down in them. And I just get the throttle tube. I kind of put it on there like so. And then you just feed them into there. Now that I have both sitting in, I like to pull them somewhat tight as I'm pushing it on. Then I just make sure to turn it back and forth, make sure it's free. And while I'm doing that, I make sure the cable ends move nice and free, and they do. Now I'll just put the two number 27 Torx screws back into the housing. You can see right here that the switch housing that has the throttle cables locks into the brake housing. And you just want to make sure that's locked in, give it a little turn, and then you can just snug these screws up the rest of the way. Now if they're snugged up, you just want to make sure it's still free, and it certainly is. And that's how you lube your throttle cables, and you should be doing that once a year. I lost the footage of me actually adjusting the throttle cables. The main thing when you're adjusting the cables is you want to make sure that you have full throttle and that it shuts off all the way. You can hear it hit the full throttle stop when it's all the way open, and then you can hear it when it closes. And you just want to make sure that even after your adjustment's done, that these cables aren't super tight, especially the return cable. So while tightening up the choke cable right here, the plastic broke. This is the original one, and I probably just went a little too hard at it. I ended up breaking the other one right here where you tighten the nut. So I got another one, and I'm going to put it in. Now that that's in tight, I fed it across, and I'm just going to pop the carburetor back on here. I like to come in here from the top to make sure the carburetor is all the way in. You can see on the right hand side down there by the throttle spring, there's an aluminum piece. That's the stop when it hits the rubber gasket, not to go too far. That's in all the way. Then I'm going to put the vacuum hose that goes over to the Vose switch back on the carb. Now I'll go over and tighten the choke cable up. Here's the choke cable. I have the nut loose and the washer back. Tighten the nut by hand. Make sure the choke works, and it does. And when you pull it out, it stays out. If it doesn't stay out, you just tighten up on this plastic nut right there. This big nut's 11/16. You just want to give it a little tighten. That's plenty on that. And there you have it. Choke's done. On the carburetor, I want to make sure to put my overflow hose on. I need to get a piece of vacuum line that goes from the Vose switch over to the carburetor. I'm not going to run the vacuum line over to the petcock anymore. They have that on these bikes as a safety feature. So if you go down on the bike, the motor shuts off, stops pulling vacuum, and doesn't let fuel keep flowing to the carburetor. Although I've never had the problem, that diaphragm in there is now 30 years old or real close to it. You can see what I did here for the Vose switch. I used the old hose and the old T, but I just blocked the section of the T off. And there's the T right there. I put a little orange RTV on it. You won't see that once the tanks are on. So to get the plate on properly, it takes a gasket, takes this spacer, then the plate, and then this air horn. The way I do this is I put one of the bolts in, put that through the plate, and on the back, this spacer already has a gasket on it, and then I put the other gasket on that goes up against the carburetor. I don't say this much, but I'm going to say it in this case. If you don't put some Loctite on, you're an idiot. And there you have it. I got the Loctite on. These screws will come loose and they'll end up finding the top of your piston. And once I have it like that, I line it up and I start the screw. Once I have that screw started, I line the horn up, put the bolt in, I put everything through it, I get the Loctite, put a nice dab of blue Loctite on that, and then start it into the carburetor. For the last one, I just put the blue Loctite on it, and I put a good bit on these because I don't want them coming out. It's going to be a bad day if they come out. Now, I have everything on real loose. Next thing I put on is the breather crossover. Again, this was all part of the Screaming Eagle backing plate. So you get the bolt, it gets a washer, then you get this mounting bracket, then another washer, then it goes through the tube, another washer, and then into the head. Again, I just start it and leave it loose. I get the setup for the other side and make it up, put everything together, and then just start it on in. Now I leave all this a little bit loose. Next thing you do is you take these 2/4 inch bolts, you put one through, you line it up so it goes through the mounting bracket on the other side, like that. Then it takes a flat washer, takes a lock washer. You know I'm going to hit it with some blue Loctite even though it has a lock washer. And then you start the nut on the other side. Again, I leave everything nice and loose. Now you do the second one over here. So when I'm ready to tighten this up, I tighten up the backing plate onto the carburetor first. Then I get it where it's level across here. Then I'm going to tighten up the breather nuts. They're 3/4 of an inch. The last thing I'm going to do is tighten up these mounting bolts here. All right, now I have everything tight. The breather just goes on over here, nice and easy like this. Now that I have that on, I'll just tighten up the clamps. The reason this big nut's here is normally coming off that nipple on the breather. They put the breather hose into the carburetor. You can see I have the filter and I want that air to go to atmosphere, not back into the motor. I just thought about this and realized this air filter needs to be cleaned. Now I can get the air filter on. I washed it and cleaned it per K&N's instructions. And it gets 3 nylon washers. And those 3 nylon washers seal it up. Then it gets 3 lock nuts. Of course, I'm going to put a little blue Loctite on each one. There you have it. The air filter cover's back on. You can see it says Bad Boy. It's the original one. I had the camera off But I did put Loctite back on this bolt when I put it back in. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. Thank you.